Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are so glad that you could join us again for our English news broadcast. It is now time for the English news, 6 o'clock, and as every day, we give a translated version of the Albanian news in English. In today's news, on the second day of his visit to Albania, the EU Commissioner for Enlargement Policies, Mr. Hahn, held meetings with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Speaker of Parliament, and the Prime Minister, Roma. After these meetings, he held a joint press conference with our Prime Minister, Mr. Roma. He expressed appreciation for Hahn's contributions to the dialogue for EU integration. The EU Commissioner Hahn said that the country must carry on with the reforms and that the government, the opposition, and the institutions must fight corruption and organized crime. He added that constructive dialogue between the parties is absolutely necessary. Prime Minister Roma expressed his government's commitment to these things, as well as the belief that the homework that has been given by Brussels will be completed by autumn of 2015. The Prime Minister mentioned that he has asked Mr. Hahn for a stable and predictable process and that no more additional duties should be given until autumn. Commissioner Hahn stressed that having an independent judiciary is a prerequisite for combating organized crime and corruption. He said, "There has been progress in regard to the 5 priorities. Obviously, the focus should be on the issues that are related to the rule of law. The fight against corruption and organized crime needs an independent judiciary. This is a prerequisite for combating organized crime and corruption. Obviously, there has been progress, and you will continue to have our support. The meetings have been promising. Policies are needed that are coherent and serious to be effective in this fight." After the high-level dialogue between the EU and Albania, the Democrat MP Majlenda Bregu made the statement that the opposition has given the majority quite a challenge with their proposals for decriminalization. She said, "We discussed the need to combat organized crime and corruption. We have challenged the majority with our amendments to the process of decriminalization, and we have demanded that they accept our proposals. The majority must find the political will to accept our amendments," said Bregu. She expressed that she is skeptical about the opening of the negotiations by autumn, saying that she doubts that the conditions will be favorable by then. The EU ambassador to our country has given her first interview since she began her mandate on October 3rd of 2013. Ambassador Roma Education was invited to be a guest on the Ora News program Tonight Il Vettore. The EU ambassador spoke about her experience here in Albania. She talked about the role of the EU in the integration process, the June 21st elections, the justice reform, and the punishment of corruption, which are conditions that Albania must fulfill for the opening of EU negotiations. During the interview, Ambassador Vlahutin said that Albanians are responsible for damaging their own country. She stated, "The work must continue, and the opposition should be a part of it. This is a very big issue and very important. The culture of dialogue is something essential. Nothing can damage Albania more than the Albanians. There are some things that have national importance, and it is obligatory for all to be on the same page when the issues of national importance are discussed." Regarding the June 21st elections, the ambassador asked the parties to exclude the incriminated from their list of candidates. She went on, "The elections have always been a problem in Albania. They have not been up to the EU standards as the Albanian citizens deserve. We urge the party leaders to put their best people forward, people without criminal records. The removal of the incriminated from the administration and the parliament is very important. Albania has reached a very historical moment, and the moments like this will not come again. This is a turning point that will enable Albania to join the EU, which is the family of European democracy," she said. The ambassador also commented on the case of Tom Doshi, saying that the Albanian institutions need to have the right procedure to investigate it properly. According to her, the investigation by the prosecution is the only thing that can bring the truth to light. The The Foreign Commission held its regular session today, and it was characterized by fierce debates between the majority and the opposition. The Democrat members again requested the resignation of Ilir Mehta, saying that the truth of the case of Tom Doshi cannot be learned if Mehta is the head of the assembly. The chairwoman of the commission said that this issue is not their responsibility and that they should leave this issue to the prosecution. After this, the opposition turned their attention to the concessions for hydropower plants. One of the Democratic MPs made the claim that the government has created insecurity for the investors by arbitrarily tampering with the concession contracts. The chairwoman responded, saying that the concessions were awarded in a very abusive way during the time of Salih Berisha. She claimed that the lack of responsibility in awarding concessions had wreaked havoc on the environment. In response to this, one of the MPs asked for a study on the impact of concessions on the environment. The OSCE presence here in Albania has started the process of training state police officers for the local elections on June 21st. The director of the state police, Artan Didi, said that the police will guarantee a safe environment for the citizens when election day comes. According to him, the police officers have no political bias and they will only apply the law. He said, "The holding of the elections on June 21st is an important political event for the country, and it has the attention of the public and the internationals. The work of the police is of great importance for creating a safe environment in which to hold democratic elections. The state police has the duty to ensure order and security before, during, and after the electoral process." The head of the OSCE in Albania said that he appreciates the work that the police have done in other elections. He added that the OSCE will be there on June 21st to monitor their work. The Commission of Economy discussed the road taxes today, which caused some amount of debate between the members of the opposition and the majority. The opposition members made the claim that the government is only using these taxes as a method of raising more money, and that they do not intend to invest that money back into the roads. One Democratic MP accused the government of imposing far too many taxes for such a time of economic crisis. In response to this, the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, Erman Hajanasto, explained that this initiative is necessary for the maintenance of the roads because the budget cannot cover it. He also spoke about the possibility of giving a concession for the national road, saying that if they go that route, the process will be transparent. Despite the arguments, the Commission did manage to approve the funding that was given by the European Bank, but only with the votes of the majority. The funding will be used to conduct a study which will determine the amount of taxes that should be applied to the road system. A study that was recently conducted by the Center of Social and Economic Research reveals that the education level of the Roma community is still concerningly low. The Minister of Education says that the situation has changed favorably since last year, but the figures are still concerning. The ministry says that 5,766 Roma children are attending school, which is 1,601 more than last year. The study shows that 40% of the Roma community are still illiterate. The Ministry of Education has developed a strategy which intends to include the Roma community in the obligatory education program, at least until 2019. The social and economic experts are saying that poverty and the migratory habits of the Roma community seriously hamper their education level. That concludes our news for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back at the same time tomorrow with more Albanian news in English. Thanks, and have a wonderful night.